Hello there! Work environments are unique and dynamic. The larger the company, the more DISC styles you'll encounter. A key to building a successful and harmonious workplace lies in understanding the different styles and how they communicate with one another. Today, we're going to look at C Conscientiousness DISC style. You'll learn how the C interacts with their colleagues and their unique strengths and development areas. You'll also see how small modifications can improve C's communication and influence with their peers. Let's take a look. Kathy, where are we at with increasing efficiencies on production?
I've spent a lot of time focusing on ways all departments can be more efficient and bring costs down. I've analyzed receipts, invoices, expense reports across all of our operations and found some glaring holes in the ways things are done that are costing us. So I've developed a new system. I've created this database. Here, all team members will simply input their numbers. Then the database creates these daily spreadsheets, which compiles all information into 12 subsections of our organizations to line item exactly where we are losing money, where we are making money, and where we are breaking even.
Whoa, these numbers don't make any sense. Are you sure about this? I know my department can't possibly.
I am positive about these numbers. I put these systems through rigorous testing to make sure they were absolutely perfect, 100% error-free. I stand by that.
Okay, I can see all the detail here, but isn't this overkill? I know my department doesn't have the time to input all of this data at every stage of the process. This system you created will cost too much time that could be spent in more productive ways.
There might be a brief learning curve, but I guarantee you the process will pay off. I've checked it 4 times. This is solid.
There are a lot of details here, Kathy, which I appreciate. Can you explain this more thoroughly?
Well, it's all here in the charts and spreadsheets, and there is a summary section with key takeaways.
The summary section is 30 pages?
29.
We're going to need more explanation, and I'd like to know how this is relevant to my department.
It's all right there in the documentation I provided.
C is very focused and analytical. They are also perfectionists who take great pride in their work. You can count on C to provide you with accurate and detailed information. That is their strength and why they're an asset to the organization. However, all of this detail and analysis can be frustrating to their colleagues. It's easy for them to go down the rabbit hole and not see the forest for the trees, as they did with Lisa. As a perfectionist, C tends to get defensive when their work is challenged. C always has to be correct, which sometimes makes communicating with them difficult. While C styles express themselves best through writing, they will need to develop confidence speaking to colleagues. With a few small modifications, C can become more effective in the workplace. Kathy, where are we at with increasing efficiencies on production?
I've created a database that I believe will be helpful to all. It's easy. Team members simply input their numbers. Then, the database creates these daily spreadsheets which compiles the information. We'll see exactly where we are losing money, where we are making money, and where we are breaking even.
Whoa, these numbers don't make any sense. Are you sure about this? I know my department can't possibly.
I understand, Matt. I looked at this from every angle. I can see how these numbers can be a surprise.
I know my department doesn't have the time to input all of this data at every stage of the process. This system you created will cost too much time that could be spent in more productive ways.
You have a point, Lisa. Let me take another look at that.
There's a lot of detail here, Kathy, which I appreciate. Can you explain this more thoroughly?
Sure, I'd be happy to recap the findings in the summary.
Now that was much better. C was still their true self, perfectionist, precise, analytical. But after making a few modifications, their colleagues were much more receptive. First, they dialed back the analytical talk and spoke in a way everyone could understand. Then, when C was challenged by their numbers, instead of getting defensive and insisting that they were right, they took an empathetic approach. They still stood by their work, but acknowledged colleagues' concerns. When Lisa suggested that their approach might not be relevant to the team, C was open to the feedback and willing to consider it. Finally, when asked for further explanation, C agreed to talk and verbally explain their system and findings. With a few minor behavior modifications, C became a more effective communicator and a better team member.